Today I want to talk about role play versus role play. I was reading something the other day, and basically it was a good back and forth between a player and a DM. The player rolled, I guess, persuasion, and they're like, that roll's good enough, they should just give me what I want for free. And the DM says, fine, how do you ask? And they go, that's stupid, he should just give it to me. And the DM said, this is role play, R-O-L-E, versus not role play, R-O-L-L. And the player got bent out of shape. Now, the player was in the wrong. The reality is we're playing a role-playing game, R-O-L-E. And involved in role play, you have to talk. You know, rolling dice and giving numbers is not talking. Rolling dice and giving numbers is not role-playing. It is simply, I mean, if you want to do that, then play a game that you just move pieces and roll dice for hitting and damage, and skip playing a role-playing game that you have to interact with others at the table. But it's not a valid thing to sit there and expect, oh, I rolled well, I should just get it, and then get bent out of shape when the dungeon master does their job and says, you know, what exactly are you asking for? I mean, in that instance, if somebody sits there and says, oh, I rolled this, they should give it to me, and I say, you know, well, what are you asking? Tell me what you say. And they go, that's stupid. My response will be, all right, so you rolled a 20, you stare at the person intently, and they have absolutely no idea what you want. So basically, they just negated that roll. They did not role play it. They simply rolled and expected the guy to be a mind reader. And that's not reasonable. So, and let's be honest. I mean, I know there are a lot of people that are like, well, what about people that are shy, or they don't like to role play, or they don't like to this or that? Yeah, I don't give a fuck if they're shy or don't like to role play or anything else. No one's asking them to give a soliloquy. They're simply saying, tell me what you do. And I mean, that's a common thing that I'll do at the table. Tell me what you do. And saying, I persuade them. No, tell me what you do. Tell me how you say it. You know, you don't have to give me great details, but tell me, what are you asking them? And if they're not capable, and if you're not capable of a player of simply saying, okay, so I tell the guy, I want that, I really, really need that falcon, it will assist me in saving the city. You roll a big persuasion check, and they're like, man, that's great, take it. That's not that difficult. Just freaking say what you're going to do. Don't roll and say, that guy has to give me this, because no, it doesn't work that way. And honestly, it's highly unlikely as a DM that I'm ever going to give something for free from a merchant to somebody. I may give you a discount if you roll really well, but let's be honest. If you are basically trying to persuade somebody to give you something for free, in reality, it's not going to happen. You could walk into a store and give somebody this great big story why you should get it for free. They're going to tell you, fuck off, we're here to make money, it's a business. And there's no reason to expect someone in-game to do something any different than to say, I'm a business, I have to make money, I have a family to feed, they're important to me, I can give you a discount, but I have to make money. This, you know, it took me years to raise this falcon, or, you know, that's what it was in this instance. Years to raise this falcon, train it, all this kind of stuff. So, yeah, I can't give it to you for free, but I can give you a discount. I mean, players as a whole are unreasonable when it comes to this role play, R-O-L-L, thing, where they think that they just roll dice and you just automatically do what they want you to do. My whole thing, whenever I've DM'd for years, is you have to tell me what you're doing. And regardless if you crit or not, if what you tell me is idiotic, makes no sense, might piss the guy off, you know, whatever, then that's how it's getting played. I'm not going to automatically, because the roll of a dice is awesome, give you something or do exactly what you want if what you want is absolutely unreasonable or antithetical to what the motivations of that NPC are. So, you know, I am an advocate for, if you have people role play, R-O-L-E, then you need to have them role play in a way that makes sense in the world that you're playing in. And if you have a player who only wants to roll dice, then, I mean, at my table, it's not going to work. You're going to have to role play, or you're going to have to adapt to the way I DM. I don't adapt to players who refuse to role play, because my opinion is we are playing a role-playing game. We're not playing a board game. We're not playing miniatures with combat. We're playing a role-playing game. So you have to be able to communicate to me. If you can't communicate to me, you can't communicate to an NPC, which means you don't get what you want. And like I said, I'm not saying you have to soliloquize. You don't have to go on and have this great big conversation. You just have to say something that makes sense. It can be brief, but it has to be germane to what is happening. And I don't think that's unreasonable. And honestly, I think the players that are like, well, oh, you shouldn't do that because there are players that don't like to do this or that. It doesn't matter. I'm the GM. I run it the way I want. And honestly, if you're playing a role-playing game, you should, when you sit at the table, expect to have to role play, to have to speak to other people, be it NPCs, be it the DM, because he is the NPCs, and to relay what you're doing. You can't just roll and say, I stealth. And let's say you're standing in the middle of a freaking room and everyone's staring at you. It's well lit. I stealth. Awesome. The second you move, you broke stealth, they still see you. And they still see you because they're staring right at you as you sit there in stealth. You're not the ostrich that sticks your head in the ground and becomes invisible. So I don't let people just do things because they roll. They have to tell me what they're doing, how they're doing it. They need to communicate. And I think that's the key to a solid role-playing table, is that everyone can communicate. You don't have to be talkative. You can be shy. I mean, I have a lot of people that I play with, and it's different tables between running public games, and I've always encouraged role play at the table, and no one has ever tripped out. Everyone's participated, and everybody has a good time. So, you know, don't play into this, well, I don't like talking. If you don't like talking, don't play a role-playing game. I mean, it's just the way it is. So that's my personal opinion. I mean, role play, R-O-L-L, you know, is not a valid play style in a role-playing game. You need to be able to communicate. So, but that's it for today. Feel free to comment down below. I'm sure plenty of people think that role play with dice rather than role-playing by using your mouth or your voice is a valid thing, and I disagree. I don't think that you can properly play a role-playing game if you can't communicate, even if it's in brief sentences, what you're doing. So that's it for today. Have a great day. Remember to like and subscribe down below and put comments, and we'll see you next time.